Now, a good portion of Israel's renowned high-tech sector is turning its focus on contending with the coronavirus, applying startup nation know-how to the most pressing health issue of the day. But that effort is going to take some significant capital. And now OurCrowd, the Jerusalem-based crowdfunding venture capital platform, is planning to raise a $100 million pandemic innovation fund to invest in technologies that will address challenges posed by the COVID-19 wave. Well, joining us now from Jerusalem is Jonathan Medved, CEO and founder of OurCrowd. Thanks for joining us, Jonathan. Now, of course, we've seen individual efforts for companies involved in maybe some COVID-19 solutions. But talk to us about OurCrowd deciding to go all in on a pandemic innovation fund.
Well, it's absolutely what is necessary today. We sort of look at this as crowd-funded stimulus for the most important segment of the economy, which is the startup nation. These are the entrepreneurs who are already in the fight. They're developing technologies, whether it's in diagnostics or vaccines, therapeutics, remote health, and even technologies that are focused on the new normal, allowing us all to work from home and to do distance learning. There is unprecedented innovation going on, and they need support. And so we've got a bunch of them already in our portfolio. We have 200 companies active at OurCrowd, but we've now decided to raise an additional $100 million through our unique method of allowing investors all over the world to join this fund. The minimum is $50,000. We're expecting to hit that $100 million target and maybe even blow through it. And in the meantime, help is on the way for those important entrepreneurs who are fighting the virus and the new situation.
And John, maybe for some of those potential investors out there watching, break us down to now some of the specific companies that this fund will perhaps be working with.
Well, so we've already announced two initial investments on this fund. One is in MigVax, which is the renowned vaccine effort being led by the Migal Institute up in the north in Kiryat Shmona. These are guys who for the last 4 years have successfully developed a coronavirus vaccine, but for chickens. They were tasked by the Israeli government to wipe out the avian flu. They did so in terms of creating the successful vaccine, and now they're turning their attention to the human coronavirus vaccine problem, and they're developing an oral vaccine, which has huge implications for Africa and the developed world because of the lack of refrigeration and the ability to simply distribute it widely. The second investment we've earmarked is in Site Diagnostics, which is a remarkable new testing company who've developed a little box called Olo, which literally takes 2 of your drops of blood from your fingertip, not hunting for veins anymore, and it gives you a complete blood count in less than 10 minutes digitally. Extraordinary companies, but this is just the beginning. We expect to invest in 20 or 30 companies in the Pandemic Innovation Fund at OurCrowd.
Now, presumably, Jonathan, these are working on innovations that can apply not just to COVID-19, but actually be applied beyond that to perhaps either future pandemics or either other health issues that are going to come up or are already out there.
Absolutely. Caleb, look, we know that this is not our first rodeo nor our last. Okay, there are going to be more pandemics, unfortunately. We don't know how long this one will last. So we have a company in the portfolio already of OurCrowd called Sanotize, who are making essentially like a hand sanitizer for the nose. It's something you shoot a little inhaler with a zip, zip in your nose, and it kills the coronavirus. They're right now in the middle of clinical trials in Canada. We have companies like Cryon, who are essentially doing robotic process automation, which is to let bots write the code rather than people. And they were tasked by Kupat Cholim Klalit and Maccabi, the two huge Israeli healthcare organizations, to hook the corona data up to their central databases. When they had asked their own programmers to do it, the answer came back, months of work, boss, months of work. The bots did it in 48 hours. So these are clearly technologies which are not just suitable for this pandemic, for COVID-19, but they'll be driving us forward. What people don't realize is that we're at an inflection point as a civilization. The changes that are afoot in terms of the digital economy are so huge. The CEO of Microsoft said in the last 2 months, he's seen 2 years of digital transformation. I think he understated it. We're looking here at a whole new normal, a whole new future. And there's no better time to be making investments, to be giving support to those entrepreneurs who are saving lives and improving all of our lives. And that's what's fun to be in this venture capital business, and in particular, to open it up to investors around the world.
And I just want to briefly mention, we only have about less than a minute left. There were some of these companies fall outside the health field. We're also talking about some of the, as you mentioned, the digital transformation going on. For example, remote working and distance learning.
So, for example, today there's a huge problem. If you're locked in at home and your internet goes down or your TV goes down, you're in deep, deep trouble. Right? You can't bring that technician into your house. So we have a company called TechC, and TechC actually provides you with the help that you need over your mobile phone, your smartphone, by using AI and the phone's camera, and it helps you solve your problems. This was deployed during the middle of the crisis by Verizon across America, where they, instead of sending their technicians in, they used Israeli software to solve these problems. And there are so many examples. The startup nation, thank God, is alive and well. What we need to do is we need to support them. We need to invest in them. We need to get a full return on our investment and do good at the same time. Well, certainly OurCrowd has been working in that direction for a number of years, and looks like it'll be going forward even more so in the light of this latest challenge. Jonathan Medved from OurCrowd, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Caleb.